Peace, love, and chi up. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'd like to share cleansing breath. So we also call this adjusting breath. And this is a key player in so many ways, but I'll talk about three of the ways, I consider to be the most powerful in ways that the breath informs the body, the mind, the energy, the emotions, the spirit. And when we take those three adjustment breaths, 3 deep cleansing breaths, it helps to reset the nervous system. So part of the autonomic nervous system deals with the sympathetic response, or the fight, flight, or freeze stress response, and the parasympathetic response, the recover, relax, rejuvenate, that kind of thing. So we want to come back into coherence and be connected through the body, through the breath, and the mind, through the heart and the vagus nerve. And the 3 deep cleansing breaths helps us to get there. And the beautiful thing about all these practices is that in the moment they provide immediate benefit, but then they grow as you practice them. So the more entrained your energy and your breath and your body become to responding to these 3 deep cleansing breaths, eventually all you need to do is think about taking the 3 deep cleansing breaths, and your nervous system responds into relaxation mode. So it can help get you out of those heightened states of distress and overwhelm, to where, okay, it's still going on, it's like not like you're not in a boiling pot of water, but at least now you're centered enough where you can get out of it and you can make the best possible choice with what you have to deal with. So one of the things that we're doing is just like Pavlov's dogs, ringing the bell, and the puppy salivates because they think meal's coming. So with those 3 deep cleansing breaths, with or without hand movements, helps to condition ourselves into that response. So resetting our nervous system, coming back into balance, coherence. And when that happens, then our body goes, all right, we survived the tiger attack. All right, so while the attack's going on, the body decides to shut down digestion and elimination, absorption of the meal. Because the next 10-15 minutes doesn't matter if I finish that meal up, if I don't survive, right? Shuts down a lot of function to the immunity system, because short-term survival doesn't require that I fight off whatever's attacking my body, or whatever's out of balance. And so when we come back into the breath and that relaxation response, the body goes, all right, we're safe now. Okay. Now let's get back to dealing with that meal. Let's get back to immunity boost and cell regrowth and all that stuff. So 3 deep cleansing breaths, one of the main things that's happening is we are conditioning our energy and our nervous system to respond back into that center, that place of power that you have. And then the other aspect is the lungs themselves. So just getting maximum lung capacity and really squeezing out the breath and expelling all the stale air, the stale emotions, energies, and material. That's part of how we release material from the body as well, through the lungs, through the breath. The lungs also, in the Chinese medicine practices, are metal, and grief and sadness resides in the lungs. So if your lungs are sticky, or that kind of thing, you might be needing to release some sadness and some grief, or just being at peace with that, and that in itself will help to release it. So we're going to be getting this full range of movement of the lungs, and we're going to be using the body and filling from the bottom, middle to the top, expanding the chest at the end, and then squeezing from the chest, middle to the bottom, and really squeezing out the belly. So we're going to get this maximum gas exchange, and then by slowing down the breath, by controlling our breath, even though we're taking fewer breaths than normal respiration, if you're at rest, sleeping or totally relaxed, might be somewhere around 10 to 12 breaths per minute, cycles of breath, an inhale and an exhale. If you're intercostal breathing, it might be slightly higher, 15 to 20 something, and if you're breathing in the upper chest, it could be as high as 40 times a minute that you're breathing, but you're not taking in as much oxygen as you would if you slow down that breath and you take fewer breaths. So we're actually going to give our lungs time to gather the oxygen into the bloodstream and time to release the carbon dioxide and the materials and the gases that we don't need in the body. So taking in what we need in the moment and releasing what we don't. Just as a side note, this also helps us to become peaceful in different states of being, because life is moving, and sometimes there's states of abundance and sometimes states where we feel like we might be lacking something. So in the moments when we are empty of the breath and we exhale, we learn to stay peaceful, knowing that the next breath is coming. Right? So we can be comfortable in that state of expansion and fullness, and we can also be comfortable in that state of contraction and emptiness. And both serve each other. So to jump up, I have to push down first. So there's this process in creation of expansion, expansion, but that contraction, sometimes we feel like we've taken 2 steps back, but we actually really haven't. We're just preparing to boost ourselves into the next moment. So that's the process of the breath. And the third element is moving energy. And I talk a lot about that, and it may sound a little woo-woo, but it's true. And if you look into the science of breathing and how the body uses energy and how oxygen activates everything, and it has something to do with everything in the physical form, breath is very powerful, very important. So, but we extend that to include our energy body. And there's so many different pathways and circulations and circuits and all kinds of stuff going on, and we'll try to cover as much as we can. But in the beginning, we're just going to focus on the central meridian, the Chiang Mai, also in yoga known as, let's see if I can pronounce it. It starts with an S, Sushma channel or something like that. Sometimes I know it, sometimes I don't. It's escaped me. But Kundalini rising, right? So this circuit of, we could also consider atmospheric chi as electrical energy and earth chi as magnetic energy. So we do have an electromagnetic field, and our cells respond to that field as well. So we're going to be looking at how to gather earth energy up through the central channel and heavenly chi down through the central channel, or yin rising, yang descending, or soul rising, spirit descending, however you want to do that. So part of what we're doing is not just breathing in the lungs, but we're breathing with the whole body, and we're also breathing and scooping into the earth up, bringing that up and out, as well as bringing heavenly chi down. So we're magnifying this central channel along the spine. You can think about in terms of health of the spine. And then that is also helping to empower the 7 main chakras, or the 12 chakras, or in the Chinese system, the 3 dantians. So that's a little bit about the cleansing breath. In a few moments, I'll take you through the practice. Thank you.